Hello, hello, hello. I think it's important for definitely for people who are watching this and recording to not be spooked by any silence. So just to let you know that I am here, just waiting for people to join, waiting for um 3 o'clock to roll around. Probably start a few minutes after that, just waiting for people to come in. But yeah, if you are watching this and recording and you see the screen showing video playing but no sound, do not be worried. It's all good. Okay, so I'll see you back here, or I'll be back in just a few minutes. Hello, hello, hello. So, just waiting a few minutes for people to arrive late as we do, and then we'll get started. I hope, and I know how it goes. It's not always easy, but I hope you've done some of the homework. All of it would be absolutely stellar, but at least some of it. Yeah, so that's working. Nice. Yes, Roots. Good to see you. Good to see you. Um, yeah, just a few more minutes and then we get started. Of course, as usual, recordings will be in the group. Had some issues yesterday, found out by accident, that Facebook had muted a good half an hour, 30 minutes of the audio of yesterday's training. Thank you, Facebook. The music that was used was copyright free, but Facebook didn't think that. And then saying that, whoever actually provided the copyright music, being the way the world is, it may not have actually been fully copyrighted. So, as sad as it is, no music today. And also, apologies for the music being just a little bit too high at certain points yesterday or distracting to some people. I like it, I prefer it, I love it, but there you go. All right, look, for those that are here, they're serious, so why keep them waiting? Let's get into it. So, what I'm going to do is cool. Right, so as I was saying, I hope you actually found yesterday useful. It was a lot. There was a lot that was going on. And that's because foundation is a certain amount of detoxing and what you think, um, you know, what you've learned so far with online business that had to be done, and really just bringing it back to basics. A lot of what we talked about yesterday is actually quite logical, when you think about it. And what I'm going to do as well, bear just one moment while I'm yeah. So as I was saying, yesterday was a lot. There was a lot that was put into train yesterday because it was about building a solid foundation. And um, just to give a bit of a recap, it was very important for me to get you to work on yourself and really work out what you're trying to do. Because even when you're working out what you want to do within your life and why you want to work with people and why you want to get them to give you money and how much money you want to actually earn, without having that in place, you have no destination as far as I'm concerned. You really don't know where you're going. You don't have a clarity. And that kind of clarity is what's going to help you when things are really tough and it happens. Okay, there's all that whole kind of thing. I've got to put bread on the table, so I've got to get out. But there are days when you're making money, when the money's flowing, you don't even want to do it. So there is a certain amount of motivation, I think, that comes from the clarity of why you're doing it in the first place, why you're helping those kind of people, why you're selling whatever it is you're selling. Okay, so that was really super important, and that's going to lead into today, which is the business, because the business is the vehicle you're going to be using to help yourself and to help others. But regardless of whether or not you're startup, regardless of whether or not you have a business idea, regardless of whether or not you have been doing this for a little while, it's important for me to help you build a business that works for you, a business that can work without you. Now, this actually isn't part of today's presentation, like it's not one of the slides, but um, some of you may have heard this before, and I will say it again. At this stage in the journey together, it's really important for you to see the business as something separate to yourself. See the business as something that you use to fulfill your dreams. Um, so, bonus piece of homework. Nothing that I'm like asking you to show. This whole idea of hope you've done your homework is not because I'm going to be checking it. There's going to be a point when I'm going to know whether or not you've done it or not, just from the questions I ask you. But this is not really about me saying to you, do your homework and you have to show it to me. And this is also, this on that point about homework, it's also important that you don't just go through any questions and just fill them out, done. It's not school. We've got a, again, this is all about deprogram. We've got a program in that whenever they see the form, it's like to get it done as quickly as possible and done. Remember, this is all about you. It's not about me. This is about you. So if you've got a question that's about yourself and you give it one line answer, that's not a reflection on me. That's a reflection on you and what you're thinking about, how you're treating the subject matter, which again is you. Anyway, so a bonus piece of homework or a bonus task that I would like you to do is to take a piece of A4 paper. Think about your business, think about what you sell, think about all the different things that go on: accounting, administration, marketing, whatever. I want you to draw out an old school organization chart, right? So you've got the one square at the bottom, at the top, sorry, and you've got all the different squares that are all connected underneath. I want you to draw out an organization chart for your business in the future, near future, far future, wherever you like, but the ultimate vision of your business. I want you to draw it out. But most importantly, I want you to draw it out without you in it. So as you're drawing out this organization chart, you don't exist. You're just designing that business as if to say it has nothing to do with you. You're not involved in it at all. Okay, it's difficult, but it's important, because if you can do that, then you're definitely on the way to be able to build a business that can actually work for you, rather than it only works if you're in it working for it. Okay. Anyway, today we're moving on to business structure day 2. Some important stuff. They always say housekeeping. All of the, and I've just done a bit of research to work out why it's called housekeeping at the beginning of presentations. I'm going to do a bit more research. I'm that way inclined, but I don't know why it's called housekeeping. So I've decided to call it important stuff. So as I've already said, do the homework. And why do the homework? Because information is worthless without implementation. Information is absolutely worthless without implementation. So, what we don't want to do with this kind of thing here is treat it like some people treat the gym, especially now with this whole thing about going back to it, is that they feel accomplished because they've just got the gym card. Just going there, having a tour around the gym, being shown all the different equipment, signing up for the membership, getting the card, they feel accomplished. They've had all that information, but just like with the gym, it's gonna be nothing if there's no action. And so this is very important. I can't do anything about it if you don't, but my job is to help you get to where you're trying to get to, so you can help more people get to where they're trying to get to, so the world can be a better place. That's my selfish reason for doing everything that I'm doing. But information is worthless without implementation. The other thing is, make sure that you ask questions within the group. Okay, so there's the online business design with Case Dean Facebook. Yes, we are live. That's the youngest coming in. Sorry about that. So make sure you ask any questions and get any support that you need within the group. And the reason why it's important to ask questions within the group is because that question could be on somebody else's mind. One, two, if I get used to, or you get used to me asking questions on my personal page, that just becomes online business marketing customer service. And all people will be sending questions through there. I've created that group for you lovely people, for you beautiful people doing amazing things, unsung heroes. And that group is still a fledgling, but that's where all the good stuff is. And that good stuff is for you. Okay, it's there for you because you're some of the select few I've come across who I want to have access to all of this. Okay, so make sure that you ask questions within the group so that other people can see answer. And also, it allows me to be very generous in the way that I answer the question. Okay, cool. So yesterday, as you said, we went through the goals. Today we are moving on to the business structure. It's very important, as I've said, to have a business that works for you. The other part of this is that your business needs to, this is the way that I put it, but your business, it needs to make humongous amounts of money. Just humongous amounts of money. I understand poverty mindset. I understand that we can have thoughts that we project onto the market, that people don't have money, they don't have a lot of money. What I've learned and what I believe is that any objections you think people have with your pricing and so on and so forth are objections that you have with money, which you need to get over. I'm not really going to flow into the whole thing about how abundant it is and so on and so forth and the rest of it. But the most important thing here is your business is a vehicle for change, change in your life, a change in others' life. And if you do not build a business that has the capacity to make humongous amounts of money, then you're limited on how much it can help you and on how much it can help others. And that's why I say here, your business shouldn't make more money so that you can buy more things. Okay, so I could be throwing that in there because I'm trying to get you to change your mindset around the fact that you're never going to really have whatever you think is riches as far as money is concerned. But it's not really about that. It's more to do with you focusing on what I would like to call a moral obligation when it comes to the way that you build your business, so that you are able to help as many people as possible. Okay, so we've done this important stuff. We've gone over um, what we did yesterday, what we're doing today, and we're talking about the fact that your business shouldn't make more money so you can buy more things. It should make more money so you can help more people. Super, super important. And so we need to turn all of that purpose that we spoke about yesterday, we need to turn into action. So, what I find when dealing with business owners is that they're either they have a low cost offer, so they're selling something for, and I say low cost, I don't mean cheap, right? But they're selling something for a low amount of money, or um, it's called affordable. Let's put a figure on it. So they're selling something for less than £500, £200 maybe. Okay. Um, or what I find is that they have a high ticket offer and they're selling something for £1,000, £2,000, and upwards. But the thing is that they have nothing in between. And what I find with these extremes is that it's not possible for you to help as many people as possible. It's also not possible for your business to make as much money as possible because you have restricted the way that it actually makes money, right? So that could be the same thing where you've. This is not about having loads and loads of products, right? So you can have this. You can imagine like an Etsy shop or Shopify shops with all of these different products. I'm not talking about that. This is all linked to what we talked about yesterday. There's the purpose you have for your clients, and then there are these different vehicles that you have. Your business has been the whole vehicle, but you've got these different vehicles within the business, products, services that help people get from their problem to their result. And what we should have in a business is different levels of transformation available to people so you're able to meet them where they're at. Because even if you have a product that costs £2,000 and in your mind your objection is, people aren't going to be able to afford that, they can't even afford such and such, blah blah. I would get you to think about, or I'd want you to think about the fact that it's not even just that they can't afford it, they may not even have the knowledge to be able to work with you at that level. Okay, so you need to build out your business so you're actually helping them, so we don't end up, you see this image here with this little split in the track where you've got a road for them and then it just stops for whatever reason. You can't help them any further. Or better yet, you get somebody coming to you who doesn't have enough money for your high ticket offer and you're unable to work with them. Or no, not you're able to work with them, you're unable to help them. Again, back to the whole idea of moral obligation. It took me a long time to work out exactly how to structure my business, how to provide the transformation that I provide to people in different forms, in different ways, so that I can help as many people as possible, meeting them where they're at. It took a hell of a long time to do that. And if I was still with the first coach that I was with about 5 or 6 years ago, I wouldn't have done it at all because his way of talking to me, and I fired him afterwards, but not long afterwards, but his way of talking to me was, if you're dealing with people who can't afford your offer, which at the time I had an offer that I was doing, I think it was like 8 grand or something, and I was speaking to a lot of people, many people, but a lot of those people, just like 99% of those people, could not afford that 8 grand offer. So I speak to my coach, he was like, "Bro, they're broke, they don't really want it." And I was like, "No, dude, there are people who don't have a lot of money, but they do need a hand. And I understand it's not my job to just forsake the fact that I need money to be able to pay for my life and just doing stuff for free, but there's got to be another way." And it took me years, but then I developed different ways to help people. I developed a whole structure of a business which allows me to help people who have no money, help people have a little bit of money, have people have a bit of medium level of money, and help people who are really ready to work with me one to one to get things done. And that would be a premium amount of money because I can't get my time back. So if I'm spending a lot of time with you, it's got to be at a premium because I can't be elsewhere. I don't even want to clone myself. I don't even know what it'd be like to have two cases or three. Um, so it's important for you to build out a business structure that works hard for you, but is also built in such a way that it helps as many people as possible so that it can make as much money as possible so that it can continue to help as many people as possible. So in order to generate more revenue, we need to turn your purpose into massive action. Okay? So that purpose, again, everything we're doing is connected. We went through that whole idea of purpose. If you've done that work or when you do that work, you should be fired up with a lot of energy, but not knowing exactly where to put it. And as you see, we're not dealing with technical stuff here. We're not talking about websites and how to install this or get that or put this kind of software. Fundamentals is what we're dealing with here, because without these, you've got no foundation for the success. So what we're going to be focusing on today is your online business blueprint. And funny enough, oh, it's not funny, but I put an image on Facebook today, and maybe in a group, and maybe in an email, and it was totally incorrect because it had the arrow going along the button, which was just wrong. I definitely need some rest, but yeah. So the online business blueprint is what we're going to be talking about today. This is your business. Okay, you should be starting to understand what we're talking about here when it comes down to different levels of transformation. But the whole idea is, as we go up in investment, so they're going to pay more, and they're also going to go up in transformation. This is not about ripping anybody off. This is not about exploiting anybody's problems. This is about building out your business in such a way that you can actually help people. Okay, and so your business will allow people to get from the problem, something that they need to get away from, to the desire, something they want to get towards. So this whole idea of investment and transformation is really based on making sure that you have a suite of products, you have a toolbox of possibility when it comes down to helping people. And again, I know people be racking their brains of how does this translate in my business? Well, of course, that's why when we get into some kind of like personal consulting, but hint, hint, reminder, you can ask questions in the group. Okay, I'm affording you that. I'm not going to talk about how much it costs to have me on a consultation call. That's not really important. It's more important for you to understand that you're part of. We're part of a tribe. We're connected. So it's my job to help you. But I don't know exactly. I can't create a presentation that hits all of the buttons for exactly what's happening with you. But if you get the overall idea, and then you want help working out how it works for your business, then tap me up, contact me, let me know. Okay. Oh yeah. Today, just like, well, I think the first few trainings are going to have a bit of a shock. It's going to be a bit shocking, I think, for certain aspects of it. Certain things you never thought about before, or certain things that just seem like they're not possible. This is definitely going to be one of those today. So what we talk about today is the 30k drop. So that's 30,000. That's £30,000. Wherever you are, you can change that to your currency, but it's 30k. In certain situations, when I'm talking to people about this, I'm actually telling them 50k, but it's 30k. And again, I don't care what kind of business you've got. I don't care if your products are just £5. This is what I'm talking to you about. I'm talking to you about this if your product is £5. I'm talking to you about this if your product is £500. I'm talking to you about this if your product is £5,000. It's the 30k drop. So you see how that 30k, it goes all the way down to 17 here. 30,000, 10,000, 5,000, 2,100, and that's per month, by the way. 67, 37, 17. So investment goes up, the transformation goes up. You can't be getting the same amount of transformation at 30 grand as you would get if you paid £17. That makes total sense, right? Okay. So we're going to get into the worksheet. And just let me tell you, because the lesson was really there was a lot because it was the beginning yesterday. Not all of the lessons or training that we go through will be an hour. Not all of them will be 30 minutes. Some will be 50 minutes. But today it's not going to be as long as it was yesterday. So let's get into the worksheet anyway. Cool. And let's make it big, real large. Okay, so there's two parts to this worksheet. And again, I will be creating a doc file so you can use it within Microsoft Office. And also we'll be sending through a Google Sheets link if you want to use it in Google. First question though, if you could only get paid £30,000 after your client got the results you promised, what characteristics would the client need to have in order to make this challenge, not my challenge, but you know, the challenge they've put to you, can I actually say, rather than say this challenge, let me say this project, a no-brainer for, not them, you to accept. It's not a riddle, okay? It's not supposed to be a riddle. Let me go through it. At the moment, you do not have anything that you sell for 30k. Okay, I'm assuming that. I'm thinking I'm right. You don't actually have anything that you're selling for 30k. But for this, I want you to think that you do. That's the first thing. Not what is it? Not right now. But you do have a service or product that sells for 30k. It really does change lives. It really does improve people's situation. All of that good stuff. But the situation here is that you will only get paid after the client has received whatever it is that you do. So what we're trying to do with this question here is get you to focus on what kind of person would you work with in that kind of way? What characteristics? So there are certain things that I want you to think about here. And I suppose I should put them in here. So let me just, first of all, you've got to have an idea. Let me just change that. It shouldn't be like that. Yeah, that's cool. So it's actually this bit I want to take off. So the first thing is the budget. For them, you need to have an idea, somehow, shape or form. And these are suggestions, but they're also pointers for what you should be thinking about. So the first thing is budget. If you've got something of 30k and you can only get paid afterwards, and I'm saying the reason why this even is a question within the work I do, because I don't get paid after anything. I don't get paid after anything. I get paid in advance of doing anything. I'm not here to really debate the reasons why or if it's better or whatever. I get paid before. Okay, my team gets paid before we start. But in this situation, I really want to think about the whole idea of you getting paid after you've delivered everything. This is not about you getting ripped off. So no, thinking of the worst case scenario. This is just you working out what kind of person would you like to be working with. So first of all, they'd have to have the budget. I would say that they have to have a clear idea about what they want to achieve. Okay, these are the things that come to my mind. In the work that I do, they have to be coachable. I would like them to be, to think of, it's a bit weak, but I suppose a nice person, whatever that means. Respectful of my time. I would like them, that's not spell respectful, is it? Where's my Grammarly? It's not working. Respectful. I would expect them to be, have I got determined? No, determined. I would like them to be humorous. I like funny people. I like bust and joke. Them to be humorous. Maybe for you, they have to be a certain age. Maybe for you, which sounds a bit sexist, they have to have a certain sex. Right now, I'm falling into this normal kind of demographic stuff, which is not really what I usually deal with. So let me just forget that for now. Budget, clear idea about what they want to achieve. Coachable, nice person, respectful, determined. Clear idea about what they want to achieve is important. What other characteristics can we think about? Coachable, nice person, respectful, determined, humorous, respectful of time, collaborative. Even though they're paying me 30 grand to do something for them, I don't want them to, I suppose that goes back to respectful, but I don't want them to treat me like a hired hand. I prefer they treat me like a partner. I suppose that goes into respect. But anyway, I want you to think about all of the characteristics. Now, the majority of these characteristics you're going to write down aren't like things like budget in actual fact, or they're not demographics, but it's super important to have the budget. Okay, super important to have a budget. Otherwise, you're working for free. So clear idea about what they want to achieve, coachable, nice person, respectful, determined, humorous, collaborative. Yeah, all that good stuff, right? Now you don't have to follow this, but whatever you come up with, it has to be based on what kind of person you like working with. Oh yeah, that's another one, isn't it? However we work it out, but trustworthy. Trustworthy comes to mind. Honest comes to mind, right? What characteristics? Next, I want you to list out everything they would get for that 30 grand. Okay, so for most of you, you've never had a product of this amount, and it seems like it's probably going to seem impossible for you to see yourself with a product or service of this amount. But I want you to think about the fact that whatever you have as skills, and let's just be clear, there's skills you have, there's knowledge you have, there's expertise you have, but within your network, within your entourage, within the world around you, there is always there's also other kinds of expertise, knowledge, and skills that, for example, if someone comes to you and says to you, I've got a problem with my car, I need to get it fixed, it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to fix it. What might happen is that you know somebody who is a mechanic, and you refer that person. Now, in this situation, I'm talking about you referring the person, but when I talk about service or product, maybe you provide, I don't know, a glass tinting service, and then you work with a guy who provides engine maintenance, and you bundle that together, and that becomes your 30K. What I'm trying to get at is, when you're listing out what they would get for that 30K, it doesn't have to be necessarily something that you do. In actual fact, it's better than something you don't do. But it doesn't have to be something that you have to do for them. And remember, this is linked to what we did yesterday. This is linked to the industry you're in, or the business idea that you have. You have to be zoomed in on the person and what they want. What are your goals for them? Where are they now? Where do you want to take them? Because now, for 30K, you're going to provide them something. What is that something? What would you be listing out here? It's also important that you don't think that, let me just see, hold on a minute. Yeah, I want to do that. So the other thing is that you don't think that you have to give loads and loads of stuff. If you've been on the internet for any amount of time, 30K normally means that you get, it must be right now, the encyclopedia, you get loads and loads of books that you'll never ever read. Or when you get a training program and they have the shots of the program itself, back in the day they have the DVD, and then they have like a book and loads of books and worksheets, all this kind of stuff. So more justifies the price. Not so. Okay? I'm also not saying that you just say it's one thing and it's 30K. It's really based on not arbitrary, just, random kind of a list of things. This should be really based on you thinking about how you help people, and what would you do if they had 30K to spend on you. So before, rather than you saying to yourself, if I sell something for £100, then I'll just sell that, to them. What's that? 30. Yeah, I think. Why am I so crap at maths? What's my brain saying? 3,300. Jesus, I'm so bad. So rather than you say to yourself, I sell something for £100, so I'm going to sell it 300 times to the person, I really want you to think about how you're going to really change that person's life for 30K. Okay? And it's just important for you to note that it doesn't have to be a load and load, like a whole list of things. Once you've got that, I want you to think about what are the 3 things that you would do immediately. So you've got the right person to work with. You're really excited about working with them. You've got the right product. They've got the right budget. They've got all of that list of stuff. You know exactly what you're going to be doing for them. Now, I'm not saying you've done it in order. That's not what I'm talking about. But what are the 3 things you would do immediately to ensure that your client got what they want as fast as possible? So how would you move the needle? What would be a way for you to get a really quick win for them? What would you do? Now, again, I can come up with examples, but if you're thinking about this based on your business and you're stuck, then let me know. But at least I've done some work first, right? Don't come to me and expect me to just give you an answer. That's not going to work. We collaboration is how we're going to be doing things. But what are the three things that you'll do immediately to ensure that the client got what they want as fast as possible? So, in my work, in the work that I do, someone comes to me with 30K budget, and um, the first things I'll do to get them what they want as fast as possible is based on what do I already provide to them. In my job, I was asked this question quite recently again. Um, Even though it's like marketing, websites, funnels, email marketing, all this other stuff, strategy consulting, really at the core of what I provide people is clarity. So the one of the three things that I would do initially is get them to tell me exactly what their problem is. Okay, get them to tell me exactly what they want once this problem is solved. So, what does life look like if this is fixed? I need to understand this. And then the other thing that I will get them to do is go through one of my processes. Like I've got a consulting program that can be done in a small amount of time. When I say small amount of time, it's like a 2 hour session. And then at the end of it, they get this report which will give them a whole clear blueprint of what to do. So like a project plan. So those are three things I would do immediately to get them the result as far to ensure that your client got what they want as fast as possible. Because one, I provide clarity, and then two, within the work that we do together afterwards, we've got a clear plan that's based on the problem they have and the result they want. Okay, so this is going to help me get them a result as quickly as possible, which I suppose goes into the bit that I was saying here, which is them having a clear idea about what they want to achieve. And if they don't, helping them. Okay, so question one, what what kind of characteristics would the person have if you could only get paid 30K after you delivered to them? That's it, whatever the service or product is. List out everything that they will get for that 30K. I really want you to think about building this out. This is super important. I want you to build out this 30K product or service. And then what are the three things that you would do immediately to ensure that your client got what they want as fast as possible? Yeah, nobody said that this would be easy, right? Three challenges aside, nobody said it's going to be easy. For this to work, and this is not, if you're here, you're on this call, then you're serious. But let's just say to each other, like we're just having a bit of an exchange about it, you can only be interested in doing this if you're serious about getting something done, right? There's no point wasting your brain space on this. So, if you're not interested, that is. Okay, so that's part one of the worksheet. Part two is what we call the 30K drop, which is going to help you build this out. So let me explain what's happening here. Fast forward into the future where you've worked out who you want to work with and you've worked out exactly what they want to, what they would get for that 30K, and you've worked out what the three things you do immediately to ensure they got a result as fast as possible. Let me put that in there. Massive result. Yeah, as fast as possible. What I want you to think about is that you should now have in your mind a service or product of 30K. Bam. What I want you to do then is put all of that stuff that you've listed out here, I want you to drop it in here. Okay, it's all going to go in there. Now I want you to imagine that another person, just like this person that you've described here, comes to you, sees that 30K product, you know they're a good person, they've got the budget, they've got all of that good stuff that we've listed out, and you would work with them, but they only have 10K. So we're not going to discount, which is something that a lot of you do. I've done it myself. Is when you're desperate to make a sale, when you're desperate to help people, you're in that discounting. We're not going to do that. What we to do is just think to yourself that they look at that list of stuff, they see that price, but they just don't have 30K, they've only got 10K. So I want you to take something away. So you should have a list, like I'm saying, a whole bunch of stuff here. And for 10K, I want you to take some stuff away. And that would become the 10K. Let me just do that another way. I've just done GFG. And then you'll take some of that away, and that would be 10K. And if you're getting it, I then want you to do the same thing for 5,000, for 2,000. And then if they could only pay you £100 per month, or better yet, back to the question that we had yesterday when we were talking about what would you do with somebody, how would you help them over a year, 24 months, 2 years, that could go in there. So now you actually have a membership site, for example, some kind of subscription service, £100. Let's talk about subscription services. Let me give you some ideas on that. How about a florist, right? So a florist has a subscription service where one of the first things they do with a client, well, this kind of client, maybe not 30K, right? But for this £100 per month, is that they talk to them and they find all this information about them. They sit down like I've got consultation with them. Some of their good clients, they ask them if they'd like to come along to this meeting where they're going to show them this really amazing thing that they service they've got. So they're going to sit down with them and ask more questions. Ask them questions about their mum's birthday and their wife's birthday and their kid's birthday. And how about, well, maybe not their kids, depending. But what it will be is that the florist would then note those birth dates and those special events, I suppose for the women and maybe for the men, whatever. And what will happen is, for people who forget to send flowers, that subscription service would mean that for this amount, which is, you know, the same amount as having 6 bouquets for the year or whatever of flowers, the flowers just get sent out automatically, making that person look like an absolute G every single time. Because even though they might forget the birthday or the anniversary, those flowers get sent out. That's the florist service. That could be a subscription service. Subscription service for and hairdressers could be that, you know, you've got a whole situation where you go along. I don't even want to talk about it right now because it's just unprecedented times. But you go to the hairdressers and your seat is, you had an appointment, but you know the person's taken time, and then it means that you end up having to wait a bit longer than you wanted to start your hair. Maybe a subscription service could be for VIP clients where it's with the seats reserved. The seats reserved like in a restaurant. Yeah, seats. But can't you work with me? The chair's empty. So nice one our VIP clients, and because they pay that subscription service, they get their appointments set throughout the year in advance, and they can always come in and they get treated at that time. Okay, there's different things we can talk about based on your business, but the point is that you need to start thinking about how you can transform your purpose. That's what we're talking about here. How you can transform your purpose that you have for yourself, for your business, for your clients into massive action by making sure that we, first of all, massive 30K, okay? A service or product of 30K. That's really going to change somebody's lives. What would you do for them? Somebody comes to you with just 10K, wants the same thing. What would you take away to make that 10K? 5K, 2,000, £100 per month, £67, £37, £17. Okay? At £17, for me, it would be like a template. It could be a small ebook or a guide. It could be training, like this, for example, one of these training sessions. It's not really about what you other people think is worth the money. It's about you looking at that 30K drop starting from that massive service or product. Not massive in the term of it's got loads and loads of things, but it is you hiring people to work with them or providing with this kind of service. It's just an amazing premium service, and then you taking things away as you come down, right? This will give you a very good idea of the structure that you can have in your business that allows you to start building out products, that increase in investment, how much they pay, and also the amount of transformation that they get from, you know, purchasing that service or product. The other thing that I want you to think about is that the 2000 mark, around the 2000 mark downwards, maybe from the £100 mark downwards, all of that, all of that there doesn't have to be delivered by you. So if you did the book, like I was saying, I have a book, and you took 8 hours or 9 hours or whatever it is to create that book, then that book can be sold over and over again. But like I said earlier, some people can have the book that they spent time on, but they don't have anything else to provide the person. They don't have any high ticket offer to provide the person. They don't have a ladder for the person to go up. They don't have a journey of transformation for the person to go through. So the book, for example, could be turned into a course. The course could be turned into workshops, or it could be turned into um, masterminds, or it could be turned into a done for you service where whatever it is that you taught them, you create it all for them. So if it was a book on interior design, maybe you've got a service where no matter what the no matter what the project is, they can hire you or your team or whatever 30 grand. Instead of them doing interior design, you come in and do it for them or provide a consultation. The point is that once you've done this work and you've created this kind of structure, you can start to see where you can stop being the one that's delivering things, which means your business becomes a lot more profitable, right? Because if you have to spend your time delivering whatever it is that needs to be delivered as far as transformation is concerned every single time, your business is not profitable. And it definitely can't remain profitable because you can't go on holiday, you can't be sick, you can't be fed up and not want to work. You have to work for the business to make money. You work for the business. This kind of structure, the business is working for you, especially when we get down to these kind of figures. We've got here 2,100, 7, hell, even 5,000, right? That could be, it could be possible that it's not something you deliver. Somebody might have to deliver it, but not you. So maybe within that 5,000 that they pay, some of that money goes to somebody who actually takes care of that project for you. Okay, so that is today. That is what we're dealing with. This worksheet, tidied up with not all of these DF random text, will be sent out to you. What time we got? Yeah, around the top of the hour. Okay. As always, any questions? What's that about? Any questions? Please put them in the group. Super important that they go in here so other people can see how I got the image wrong. Doofus. So other people can see the question, and that will help others, and it will also allow me, like I'm saying, to be generous. So that way, if you ask a question, I can provide you with a video answer. I can provide you with links to resources that can help you. Okay, so that's it done for today. See you tomorrow at the same time. Any questions, let me know in the group. Please do not let this pile up and just have homework on top of homework on top of homework that I'll do either on a weekend or sometime in the future. You're just wasting time. Not in the sense of wasting my time or wasting your time. I mean, you're wasting time getting to where you want to get to. This is all about getting you there a lot quicker than you were before. And this, again, all of it comes together. I'm not going to turn around and say to you, download Facebook, download WordPress, install this theme, get this text, put it in, use these graphics, and then once it's done, launched, sit back and the money rolls in. You should understand by now that's not how things work in online business. It's this deeper work that actually makes things happen. Okay, so that's it for today. Let me know if you've got any questions, and also please do share. This free challenge that I'm doing is super important that as many people as possible get access to it. So please do share it as much as possible. Okay, see you tomorrow, or see you in the group.